Yes, now I'm going to the share option, and let's see. Now, this is, I hope you can see the slides from that. Wilfred, can you see the slide? Everybody can see the slides from that side?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, okay. Don't worry, all the slides will be updated because there are a lot of slides over there that I'll be putting on Teams. So you'll be very comfortable. You don't worry. And if you have got any questions, you can very well, there is a chat box over there. You can definitely ask me. Now, technology business environment. See, the thing is that today, if you see the business environment, it is changing very fast. Now, you will agree that technology is playing a very big role in it. Now, technology has important aspects on business operations. You see everywhere we are using technology now today. If you see this, even your mobile also, there is a technology that you are using. Your PCs and everything where I am teaching you or you are learning over here. That means we are not wasting time. On the contrary, we are learning sitting over here. So this is all obviously with the help of technology. The environment is technology friendly, we may say. So it has both tangible and intangible benefits. Now, what are the tangible and everything that we'll be seeing? So technological infrastructure affects the culture, efficiency, and relationships of business. Now you see technology helps you over there. You can see that you can talk to any person, you can have video conferencing, you can talk on Google Meets or even this Teams also you can talk. There are a lot of our students who are in overseas also, they can also be connected. So you see the advantages of technology. Secondly, that is the word efficiency is used. Now, efficiency indicates, more output and more productivity. We are talking about productivity here also. Now, suppose, for example, technology is not there, then this business relations or students who are abroad, how they will study? You tell me now. So that is the reason technology is helping us in this regard. You see, in this basically COVID era, Corona era, the thing is that you must understand that there also the private sector or technology, they are helped in a very big way to stay connected. To stay connected, they are helped. And you see this, relationships of business. You can mail, you can today also, you can send messages. There are so many messaging applications, Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp. Like that you can stay connected so that you will not lose the business. And it affects the culture also. Because sitting in the house, you are connected, the way you work. What is the culture after all? Culture means the way you are handling the business and everything. This has changed. I remember good old days when I was working in few companies. I mean, it was a very physical atmosphere over there. We used to work with the hands and everything. Today, you see, the entire culture has changed. You are working with machines. You are going for automation. And today, you are talking about efficiency in a much broader sense. And relationships, you see, at that time we used to send letters over there. We used to go to the post offices. But today the things have changed. You can send mails. The reply will come within 2 or 3 minutes also. So this is the way we are going towards more productivity, more efficiency in this regard. So this is only because of the advantages of technology. So changes in technology affects how a company will do a business. So there are changes going on. Obviously, you can very well see, and the changes they are there for better over there. We are coming more closer and closer and closer, so that we survive, we do business. Of course, the quality people will be there in the market who are doing quality business. Definitely, they'll be there. So a business may have to change their operational or operating strategy as a result of the changes in the technological environment. So here we had talked about the strategy. Actually, the word strategy is a military term, but we are using this in business. Now, why we are using? Because due to this technological, advancements that we are working today, the thing is that you have to see that the business also we have to change their operating, how you are going to operate in this competitive or technology environment. So technological environment are those in which companies produce a product or service that is exchanged in the market such that they are rewarded for an effective performance. Now here, as I am telling you, performance holds the key. Now here, the thing is that you have to show your quality of the product is much superior to the quality of other companies. So here we are talking about quality, here we are talking about performance, here we are talking about results. So all these updations and everything we are showing to the clients, the customers, because we have to stay ahead now. Here there is a race against time that we are doing it. Obviously, Corona, COVID situation has, on the contrary, it has got a multiplier effect. And you can very well see because of this. On the contrary, I will say we have come much closer. You can very well see from the stock prices of these technology stocks. You see Tata Consultancy or even HCL, these companies, Infosys and everything, they are doing absolutely very well because they have maintained the quality. And you see not only the people, they are rewarding these companies by way of see the share prices which are skyrocketing over there. So in a way, this is only due to the technology and they are helping people in a very big way to get their work done faster, to show efficiency over there, to show productivity over there. So technological companies, you see, that is the only sector which has shown good performance during this Corona period. Now this I am not saying, you can check from the these things also, Bombay Stock Exchange nets also. So technological companies, and still I am telling you, still they are doing good. I am not saying that they have only done during the last 1 year. They will continue to do it. Continue to do it. Now you see HCL company. Now it has taken a number two position. That's what I saw in the debates also. So this is the competition which is there among the first five companies. For example, say TCS. Then we have say this Infosys, HCL. Wipro is also there on the race. Cognizant. There are so many big companies. The big names are there. Now they are fighting for their increasing the market share. They are showing the competency in the market. They are doing private sector is absolutely doing very good. So technology definitely has an edge because it is linked to efficiency that you know very well. So a technological product is something that a man creates using the application of knowledge to improve a person's life. Definitely you will agree with me that even during this COVID and difficult times, there has been an improvement in your personal life. You have reinvented yourself, you have reinvented the business. You definitely, I will be telling you, there are some more slides also. Even companies like Amazon, they have come closer to the customers. Whatever are the requirements, they are giving you sitting in your house or in the office. So all these things, using the application of knowledge to improve. Now, knowledge they are giving you, technological advantages there, environment and society is also benefited. You see, because the thing is that these are the only companies, uh, especially the technological companies. Then there are FMCG companies. Now, these are some of the companies which are, or even I'll tell you, the healthcare or pharma companies. Now, these four, five sectors which I have just told you see their performance. Obviously, in these difficult times also, they have been rewarded by the society. It is only because of the thing they are doing something for the society. And technology, basically, in this slide, I told you that basically technology has helped us. Not only the customers, students are there, and even every sector technology has penetrated and improved the life of the common man, company, corporates, or even the education sector, or even the government also. So these things are there. So technological process is a means to make an improvement, improve products and service. Of course, that is, I told you, there is a improvement which is continuous. Continuous is that technology process. So that means improvements has to be there. You cannot say, no, no, I have done my job. This technology will be there. No, no, tomorrow some new technology is going to come. So the changes in technology brings about advantages and opportunities for businesses. So you have to, think ahead. Optimism should be there because there are advantages. Because there is a change. I'm telling you, because there are changes in technology. So this will bring about advantages and opportunities for businesses. Now businesses have to adapt to the new situations. They obviously you cannot do the business the old way. I think I told you last time also, the rules of the games have changed now. Now let us adapt to the new situations, and technology is on the contrary accelerating. It is acting like a catalyst for growth. And let us see that you make the technology, you use the technology the right way. So there are opportunities for businesses because of this change in environment. The business environment has entirely changed now. You go in history, you see what has happened some 20 15 years back, or even you can go 10 15 years back also. At that time the technology, what the level of technology at that time and the level of technology today, obviously you will agree with me that the technology is taking big strides in the markets. Improvements are there, some new advancements are there, updations are there. So this is going to change your life. It is going also going to change the way you do business. I am seeing that even financial companies or even pharma companies, they are also, there also technology has penetrated in a very big way. And here the thing is that this technology basically is helping, as I'm telling you, to accelerate. We have talked about efficiency there. We have talked about more productivity. So that is what we want. So advantages, there are opportunities if you stay ahead in the competition. Definitely, you will make a mark. You will get more market share. Market share will also increase. You will earn more money. Your company will be at the top. I'll give some examples. We'll be learning in e-commerce. You see the companies such as Amazon. You see the stock price over there. Now, why it is going up? You tell me now. Now, obviously, it is only technology. You can very well see because through technology we are seeing on the net and everything. What are the products? They are displaying the products. We are buying the products. It is cost effective. The customer obviously is happy, with the cost which is very reasonable. Secondly, they are also happy about the quality. And you see, Amazon also, that they give the products the fastest delivery system. That also, because these three qualities should be there, then only you can survive. Again, I am repeating, cost effectiveness, number one. Number two, faster delivery of your services. And obviously, you don't dilute the quality because this is something which will, it is very risky. If you are having a diluted quality or a secondary quality, then in that case, it might be a big problem. So here we have to see technological change is going up. Now, this is an improvement in the art of making product or developing process. Okay. So even products also they are changing with the help of technology and better products as per the requirement of the customer. They are coming. So we are coming closer to the customer through the means of technology. You see, because the entire technology is completely changed. If you go 10 years back or 20 years back, 30 years back, you will see the business environment at that point of time. So this is only because of technology. So here, application of the knowledge to improve a person's life. Your life is also improved with this technology. Now, if you have a mobile or iPhone or something like that, you are having a mobile, you are going somewhere outside for a picnic or anywhere. So there also you are staying connected with the client, with the business, your company, your office, your house. Everything you are there. You are staying connected over there. You are not aloof. Obviously, this is again due to technology. Even you have a business or you are working as an executive, there also you are connected with the company and everything. So technological process is a means to make and improve products, and so the change in technology bring our advantage. So this obviously, I think we have done. Now next slide is, yeah, new technology can create new products. Improvement in technology increase productivity and reduces cost. Now this is very important. Now, reduction of cost, because customer will definitely tell you that I want to see that the products which are there in the market is as cost effective. Otherwise, he is not going to buy your products. I'm telling you. However high your product or the quality may be there, but if it is, you see, it should be within his budget also. He is spending. Don't forget, you have to create a demand, but you create a demand only when it is cost effective. If your product is of very high quality, I'm telling you, but the prices they are very high, then the common man definitely will not buy. I'm telling you. The reason is this, it is not cost effective. You have to reduce the cost also. You have to bring it into such level that the people can afford, then only the demand will be created. So here in technological environment, the overheads are also reduced to considerable. See other things because of the technology, there is a word named overheads. These overheads means extra expenses which you used to spend before. Definitely they are cut down. For example, overheads sometimes say electricity, rent, and everything. Now you see these are also going down. You can see basically you are sitting in the house and learning, you are educating yourself like that. Even in Bombay, I have seen, or even in other big places, the companies which had very big offices and they used to spend so much on rent, their employees they're sitting in the house and doing the jobs. On the contrary, they are more productive. So rent and everything, these expenses, they are gone now. So they are saving on that because you can sit in the house and carry out the business. You can stay connected also. In Arabic countries also, because it takes so much time to travel, in other countries also, in Singapore also. So the thing, you can sit in the house or in your office or some other place, and you can stay connected, do business there also. So this is, we call that as overheads. Overheads means sometimes we also call that as extra expenses that we are saving now. On the contrary, so that adds to your productivity because see traveling and everything it consumes time. You know very well. Now, going and coming, so that also is definitely some of my students who are in Sharjah, they were also telling that going to Dubai and coming over there, so they are staying in the houses and doing the work during this period. And on the contrary, this is very advantageous to them. So, because traveling and everything, this consumes energy, money, time, so that is also reduced. So companies sell that, I don't know because this sort of situation, how long this is going to continue, that nobody can say. We can't say now because today the corona has still, it is still there. Maybe it has a little bit receded. I'm not saying it has to go down, but when and how, that is a $1 million question that nobody can answer. So companies sell their items online. You know, I just mentioned about Amazon, Flipkart. So other online, centers they are also coming, which means they don't need a brick and mortar model. The reason is this: you don't have to have a physical place and everything. So there also you can through online also you can make money the right way. The rules and regulations that I'll be telling you after this slide. So the cost of starting new business has dropped in the recent years. So you can start, on the contrary, the objective of our government of India, they are saying the ease of doing business. On the contrary, I will say that this is definitely starting a new business has dropped in the recent years. So this is because of the brick and mortar model and other expenses they are reduced. So that means you can start. See, I'll tell you one example. Even not now, if you forget the Corona era, now there is a rule in Singapore also. You can start a business in one day and close the business in one day. So that is we call that as the ease of doing business. Now we should have in New Zealand also. You can start a business in one day. You can close the business after say 4 days. Now this is official because you can verify this. So this you can see. We want in India also the same thing. People should start the business in one day only. Why so many licenses and this and that? If you keep on obtaining this, now it takes about 6 months to obtain all these licenses and everything. So the thing is that if you want to do business, it's a very difficult job for you. So if you want to see that the business is made easier, then definitely I will suggest that all these things should be reduced. Like in Singapore, you can start the business at 7 o'clock in the morning, and even you can close the business at even say 7 o'clock in the evening. You have made money, your job is over. But the thing is that in ease of doing business, now we are coming down. India is also on the same way. Maybe it will take some more time, but it will stabilize at the. So new business basically, everybody wants to do business. No doubt there are gaps in the market, opportunities in the market where you want to carry out the business, you want to do the business the right way, you want to do the business the cost effective way. There are so many things. But due to these hurdles, administrative, legal, there are so many rules, regulations, so many licenses. That is the reason you are not thinking of starting your own business. Now in India also the things are changing now. You can very well see. So the thing is that a time will come, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, you can also start a business within 1 or 2 days, like New Zealand. So the cost of starting new business has dropped in the recent years, since founders can launch a venture from home. So that is the reason I told you you can even start for if you have a say a 2 BHK, 3 BHK flat. So one room you can some devote only for your office come home also. So there is no need to travel. This is what I am telling. There is no need to travel and find new clients because reaching out to the potential customers can all be done online. So you don't have to go out. In Britain, I have seen because they don't go out for say digital marketing. If you want to market your products, so on the contrary, there only you can go online and definitely reach out to customers. Why waste their time going physically over there? Because going over there, traveling and everything, so it takes time. Don't forget that you are taking his time also, the clients also, unless the client is comfortable during that particular period. So we have to see that you can reach the customers online. I told you the advantage of technology is already with you, and one need not hire an accountant or an assistant or an entrepreneur. Fine, that software handles all the early stage functions they need. Now, if you create the right software, even passport offices they are having this type of softwares. Now, the new concept is also coming known as e-passports. So you can very well see the changes which are going on in the environment. Passports are essential. You want to go abroad and everything. When you want to go abroad, then this is the essential thing, the passport, but e-passport is coming. So again, there is a change. Changes are going on very fast. Fast tags are also coming. You have to stick on cars and everything. That is again feature. Small things they are coming. But you have to stay connected. That is very important. So technology basically has its own positive and negative. This means now here I talked about the data information can be stolen by hackers. You have to see that the data is protected and information should not be stolen. Data localization, data robbery, this is all serious things. Basically, I'm telling you robbery over there because Europe, I told you that it is 1 lakh euros you have to pay. From where you are going to pay? Now, this is again a point. So, data breaches can be devastating to a new businesses without the resources to handle it. Because, as I told you, the stricter laws are coming. The client is basically worried about his data and everything, which is depending on you. So as a company, you should see that his data is protected, his identity is protected. For example, even sometimes I will say that his payment details and other things, they also should be protected. So we can very well see that data breaches should not be there at any cost, because in other countries it is a very now in India basically the rules are coming and they are already it will be stabilized within a short period of time. We'll be going to the rules. I'll be showing you the rules after this. Thus, businesses now need to put good efforts in securing their networks and all connected devices. You should be secure when you are doing a business. If you are unsecure, people will take advantage. This is the common in brick and bottom models also. The same thing is there. So here you have to pay a monthly fee for cloud hosting and software to keep equipment safe. You have to see that equipment because you must understand that technology has its own advantages and limitations. So this has, especially talked about the data integrity, data secrecy. So this has also opened up opportunities for technical specialists. Yeah, this is again a very good area because I see in most of the organizations this technical specialist, especially in cyber security area, where experts they are in very high demand. So they can see that your data they are secured, they are not hacked. Because I can give you a lot of examples where frauds are taking place, technology, the data is stolen. There are a lot of examples, I'm telling you. Because sometimes we ignore these things. But the thing is that they are serious. If the customer is a high profile customer, unnecessarily he may be worried that his data, his confidential matters, they have been stolen. Then we have come to the next slide. When it comes to social media, it is important that a business targets social media channels that are aligned with the nature of business. So technology plays a big role in helping establish business online. So tools like Google Analytics, HotSuite are example of this. They are tools that help you identify referred contents, optimum time of posting, when you should post that particular things. Automated postings are also there. Location specific targeting are helping business better in the online world. I know you have already gone through all these things because you have to see the content which is there. There is a timing that it should be there on the websites. So what is the optimum time over there about the content posting and everything? So the thing is that what is the right moment when you should it should be shown to the people, the timing and everything. Then it should be automatic also. If you are decided that yes, it should be there on so and so date, then automatic posting is there uh, because the customers they are looking at it and they don't like the same content again and again. You have to keep on changing as per the customer's aspirations. Then location specific targeting. Now, sometimes a particular location is there where people they like certain products. Maybe in other location they don't like. Okay, and people in one country may be fond of particular products, or even some particular state, but in other part over there they may not be that interested in that particular product. You cannot generalize, universalize these things over there. So, location specific targeting. In target marketing, basically this, I'm telling you, this happens. You have to target the right type of people. Like, for example, say Johnson and Johnson products, you see, this is the baby products over there. So they are targeting those particular sector only when they are doing a roaring business. So this is, we call it as the, niche marketing or target marketing, whatever you call it. But you have to target the right type of people. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your energy, time, money, and everything over there. So specific targeting, location specific. Where exactly, once you have made a survey, at that time after this, this will come. So once you make a survey, then there are people who are in need of your products, then definitely you can go ahead and target them. So there basically you will get very good results in this particular area. So to have good engagement with the audience, you need technology and some best online tools to help. you target the correct audience. Because technology, as I told you this again, if you want to stay connected, if you want to have some meeting with them, particular group of people, so there also you can, the correct audience you need. Because the correct audience, obviously, you should not target the wrong audience where unnecessarily there will be a waste of time and money. That is again a big problem. So technology helps a business to grow faster by boosting sales and generating more revenue. Ultimately, every firm, what is their objective? The firms basically they need money. Their objective is profit maximization, or we can say as it is wealth maximization. These are the basic goals of any company in the world. You take whether it is a manufacturing, technical, pharma company, or any other company for that matter, even export company also you take. There is only one basic goal is profit maximization. So they have to earn profits. If they want to stay in the market, they have to earn profits. No company will say that we want to end up in loss. It is not possible. If they have such aims, then what is the use? How will they repay the loans and everything? So technology helps the business to grow faster by boosting sales. Sales are boosted and generating more revenue. So many technology trends are buzzing, like our blockchain, Internet of Things, etc. So there are security risks in online business. I told you just now, to prevent the cyber attack, every business action is automated these days, reducing the human labor. Now, this is obviously the side effects when more technology is penetrating the company. Then there is a reduction in human labor also. This we can't help, but this labor can be employed because they have to search for some new areas where new openings are coming. I just told you about, say, there are experts in the cyber security, so there the jobs are created. You have to you have to foresee in which sector the jobs will be created because of this. That optimism that must be there with you. So like this, in this changing world, we have to see that in which direction and which are the jobs that will be created. I am not saying that there will be unemployment. There may be a temporary unemployment, but again, these people will be absorbed in the new sector. But today, because as I told you, after 1991, we have accepted privatization. We accepted privatization. This change and competition is here to stay, especially in private sector. So next is, just hold on, I am going to the next slide. Yes, online disaster. Okay. Now, this when technology comes, it comes with hidden problems which are sometimes difficult to tackle. So technology has both pros and cons. Sorry, not cross. With pros being a reduction in the human interference. So automation is there. So the cons means break in technology that causes a certain mishap. Now, if technology is not handled properly, and there are every chances that there may be a mishap. Now, the thing is that even big organizations, they are also facing these technology problems. There is a breakdown. Sometimes it happens. I'm not saying always, but again, it should be immediately attended to. Otherwise, the customers again they will not be happy. So, the staff and etc. They will be sitting idle. So, all these things are going to continue. So today, technology is an integral part of the business and is helping shape the future of the world. So you have to understand that whatever are the defects, I am telling you, whatever are the defects, you have to accept it, you have to tackle it the right way, and see you have to go ahead. Because ultimately, your buzzword is efficiency. So in future, technology will also bring us big things in future. Self-driving cars. So the cars will be there in, I think, in Arabic countries. I'm hearing this. Then 3D printing. Then there is a quantum computing. They are capable of solving problems that are big for a regular computer. The day is not far of when we will be using quantum computing in the daily computers. So when there are problems, big data analytics and everything, they can also be solved quickly with the help of these computers because sometimes the data is very complicated. So those problems can also be solved. Hologram, so it is a 3D image that looks like a real object as you move around. So this technology can be used. Okay, this technology can be used in various sectors and industries. So this 3D image is being used by doctors to diagnose disease and even visualize patients' organs during operations. So 3D image, you know that. So this is very important. It can be used in various sectors because we have to, especially it is used by doctors also and to diagnose disease because they have to see that particular organ from various angles. So this 3D image is very, very important. Anyway, let us come to uh, now. Yes, now we have discussed about this technological environment. Now you see, now whether one likes it or not, we have already miles because I am seeing that especially companies like TCS or even Wipro, other companies, they are doing roaring businesses even during this corona era also. On the contrary, there has been an acceleration and it is a good thing. I'm seeing the share prices, they are continuously going up. And on the contrary, not only them, but the plus factor or X factor, I will say, that other companies, they are also, this technology is pulling, I'm using the word pushing or pulling the other companies to move forward. So they are doing a noble job. On the contrary, the technology is definitely doing a very important work. You see, I have gone and attended some workshops over there. I have conducted workshops also. But where technology plays a very important role, there also pharma companies and everything. I see there has been a reduction in labor, especially manual labor, and I'm seeing that everything is more or less with the help of technology. They are seeing that acceleration takes place as per the customer needs. So this is how the technology, we have to see the advantages, the negative points and everything that can be taken care of as we go ahead. But the thing is that efficiency is the buzzword, more productivity, and these things are very, very important. Now, before going to the e-commerce rules, first of all, I want to ask you some questions. Now, let's see who answers my questions. Now, let's see, because we have shown this slide. This is a technology business environment. Now, you know that every business has got a plus minus points. Even if you see, if you go for the last 50 years, 40 years, every business at that time also, it has plus minus points. But human beings, on an average, you can see very well that they are adapted and we adapt to the new situations. Even the drawbacks may be there, but we adapt. You see, during this corona era also, that people, the corona is here, but we still, the people, they are moving around, moving in the sense they are going to the work, they are going to work over there, they are going to companies, they are going to banks, they are going to financial, there are other important works over there. So, in spite of this corona being over there, it doesn't mean that we have to stop working. So, but technology is obviously giving you a helping hand. So, take the advantage and see that your work is done properly. Yes, anybody can add up to whatever I said. Yes, Varun, Devaraj, or Shruti, can you add up to what I said just now? If any additions are there about this technology business environment. Yes, Akansha, can you add up anything which you know? Any example of any company? Yes, Akash Goel. Can you add up any? Can you think about any company which obviously you may be also working over there, and you have the advantage of technology with you, no doubt about it, because you are all computer students. So, what do you think about this technological environment? How long this is going to last? Yes, anybody? Wilfred, any additions you want to share with the class? How
Sir,
long?
I guess we cannot. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
so I guess we cannot exactly pinpoint till how long this uh, the modifications that have been made to make work being like to uh, make people work right now. We don't know how long that will go on, but this will actually spark a whole change because I think you only said that the overheads of companies are being cut. So when they know that the money they will need to invest is led, but their profit is coming just as much or maybe more or less depending on certain seasons, they will actually not you know invest that much money. They will just say yeah, work from home for certain sectors of their company or whatever. So I think that is one change that we might see.
yeah, absolutely. Because see, when it is costly, I told you that what is the basic objectives of any company. I'm using the word any. It is profit maximization. See, everybody wants to earn money. And if it is, see, the thing is that the profit goes up when you reduce the cost. So already when you are reducing the overheads, when you are reducing the cost, automatically the profit is shooting up. So here we are every company, I'm talking, whether it is a technological, whether it is a pharma company, or whether it is a FMCG company, you name me any company for that matter. Everybody has got a one common objective, that is to earn profit. And that is the basic objective. I'm telling you, unless profit is there, unless you got money in your hand, you cannot think of other objectives. I'm telling you, this is the basic objective. If you are in loss, I'm telling you, then nothing can be done. Because I'll tell you one thing, a company needs cash to start any activity. Any activity. Cash acts as a raw material for growth, for acceleration. It is just like you are putting petrol in the company. Sorry, in the car. If you have a car, if you don't put petrol, if energy is not there, then the car will not run. Even a two-wheeler also. So two-wheeler also that will be, this will just will be lying over there only. So petrol you have to put over there or diesel or whatever you call. So this is just like, unless you have profits and suddenly due to this corona era, as I told you, you have to take in a positive sense. Don't take negatively. We don't want to waste time. But the thing is that we have to see that the businesses where transformation is there, by force or otherwise, you have to adapt. My only word is adaptability. Yes, Shruti.
So, how multiple people have been terminated, and there has been a lot of termination because of Corona era. So, how is that justified? Because there are organizations wherein a task of 100 people is being done by merely 25, 30 people. So, it's very much exhausting, not just for the employees but on ethical level also. It's a wrong thing. So
Yeah, Shruti, but you have to understand one thing that basically the rules of the games have changed. I told you right at the start. Now, today, the thing is that it is not only I am, because of Corona and everything, it has only accelerated. Corona has only accelerated. Now, this process has gone, right? If you go in the, say, from 1991, we have accepted computerization, we have accepted mechanization, automation. At that time, every sector has to undergo change. Now, we cannot blame only the Corona for this. Only Corona has accelerated this. I use the word. So here the thing is that now you said that 100 suppose employees are there. Their work is done by say 25, 30 people. Now obviously because of this technology and everything, they don't need this much amount of workforce. So today the thing is that it's a social objective. Government is saying not to reduce their jobs, but a time is going to come they have to do that things because see there is a saying in English that is too many cooks spoil the broth. So the thing is that if you are having too many people or in the organizations, what work you are going to give them? You tell me. So the only one thing you have to understand that new jobs will be created. There only, that slide also I have shown you some new jobs in different, the same sector, but the different roles they have to do over there. So they have to absorb in some new areas. For that reason, I use the word adaptability. So adapt over there. That is the only way in private sector you can survive. The things are changed because the change is going very fast. Unless you adapt to the new situations and that too fast, it's very difficult to stay in the competition. So I'm not saying that the jobs will not be there, but new jobs will be created, and you have to see search for this new jobs, whether they are in technology sector or other sector. That is another thing. But jobs will be there. I am not saying the jobs will not be there, because we should not take a negative view. So this, the example which Shruti gave, it is correct, because out of 100, say, if the work is done by 25 people due to technology, then obviously this 75 people, will be worthless. What work will be doing then? You tell me that. So they had to be absorbed in some different areas. That much you can do for them. Or sometimes, if they have the skills, that is the reason I am always saying to my students. Maybe when you will be coming for physical classes also, I'll be telling the same thing. That update your skills. It is always better. Some new skills are coming in the market. Some new programs, some new certificates, some new diplomas, everything is coming. We have in Symbiosis also. So these upgradations of knowledge, technology, skills has to be done. So unless you adapt to the new situations, you'll be left behind. So company also does not want to, leave, somewhere. They want to see that they are in the competition. Otherwise, they'll be left behind. Did you get the message, Shruti?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Anyone else has got any doubts, or you can share with the class? Yes, please go ahead. Anyone? Akshay Lunde, have any? You can share any doubts or anything which you know, which you can share with the class. Aman, yes. Ahmed, anything you can share with the class? Yes, Akansha, can you share something? This environment is going to continue. I am telling you. That is the reason IT sector will have an edge, not only today but in future also. As long as we are talking about privatization, this is going to be the buzzword. This is going to be there. You cannot say that I can escape competition. Please don't do it, because competition, efficiency, these words, they will be there in your book. And without that, you cannot go ahead also. I am telling you, in private sector, because we have accepted privatization in 1991. Now we cannot revert back to protectionism. India has a huge population. How you can protect it without performance? And you have to innovate, and with the help of technology only you can do it. So things have changed over there. Yes, any particular question? Akshita, any question? Please ask questions. It's better. Some of you, I know that you'll be asking in physical classes. I understand. But here also, you can very well ask questions. There's nothing. Yes, Amisha Joshi, any question?
No, sir, no questions.
Okay, okay. Yes, Tanmay, you want to ask anything, or should I go to the next with a 5 minutes break?
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Now, Tanmay also said that he has no questions. The last student which I am asking is Vaibhav Gupta. He has any question?
No, sir,
Vaibhav?
no questions.
Okay. Now, all slides, as I told you again, even you are coming to the physical classes, I'll be sharing with you. You don't have to worry. So the thing is that is my job, that all the slides will be available to you. Only thing is that you have to go in deep. I know that this is your last year. I respect the last year. And usually the thing I also advise the students to shape up with the new scenario which is coming in the market, or which has already arrived. I will say it is already arrived. The new scenario, that change is there, and you have the already advantage. I know BCA students, they have got the advantage. I have seen many of the students being appointed in good positions. For example, say Barclays. I'm giving an example also. So I know that many of the students from this college, many, I'm using the word many, they have already been selected. So many of this class also, which is a very good class I'm seeing, I am really bubbling to meet all of you because somebody said, I think Wilfred said just now that 26th is the date that we'll be meeting. After that, maybe the college will reopen. Everybody is thinking because considering it is the last year, it's a very crucial year for all of you. And some of you may be thinking of going for some jobs. Even if you go for MBAs in other countries, I'm telling you very clearly that you need some work experience that you might be thinking of getting. Some of you might have in mind at least 1 year you must have a job experience, 1 or 2 years. In Canada, I think there is a 2 years job experience so that you can proceed for your further studies. Anyway, that's a new thing, but I told you during this session, adaptability, adaptability. Now I'll be going for the e-commerce rules. After taking, say, about 2, 3 minutes break, I hope that you can have a glass of water or a cup of tea and be prepared for the new e-commerce rules that I'll be taking in the next slide. And this e-commerce implementation, that also is there. There are so many slides in that basically. So the thing I'll be taking, first of all, I'll go to the e-commerce rules because rules are changing. You must know the rules. Otherwise, how you are going to function? Only having theoretical knowledge will not work. Indian scenario is different, and we have to see because Indian scenario is also adapting to what is there in other countries. Because e-commerce is here to stay. Now everything we are ordering online, sitting in the houses, sitting in the offices. So we are doing it. So let us take a 3, 4 minutes break and we'll continue. Okay, Wilfred, is it okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Shruti. You
sir.
can, yeah, we'll meet after say 3, 4 minutes. Have a glass of water. I know you are all fresh and definitely if you have any questions, please write it down. Even during physical classes also, I will see that your questions are answered. All the slides, they will be there in Teams. So you don't worry about this subject. Just you have to keep yourself updated, have the right knowledge that I'll be sharing the various, we'll be having these MCQs and all these things. You must have a good pointed knowledge, specific knowledge. That is very important. Okay, let us take a break. Uh, should we start now? Are you prepared? Hello. Should we start now? Wilfred, Shruti, can you start now? Can
Yes, sir.
you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So let us start with the new one. It is about the slide, which is e-commerce implementation. Now, rules will come after this, but first of all, this implementation of e-commerce, you have to understand the basic concepts. Now, it gives the business ability to sell products online day and night, reach new clients, target ideal market, establish a strong brand, and build strong relationships with your customers by improving their purchasing experience. Now, this we know that reaching new clients and targeting the ideal market. Ideal means where you can make money. Now, your brand also should be there because once the people they accept your products, then obviously the branding comes because in international marketing, unless you have a brand, you cannot sell your products abroad also. Particularly if you are having, say, goods. I'm not talking about services, but services also the brand is coming. So the thing is that we have strong branded companies like Wipro and everything where they are a very strong brand. So here we can sell the products online day and night. E-commerce basically it helps you. You can place an order during night time also. Good old days, you know very well that the orders could not be placed during particular hours. So here we have the advantage. Online, even if you are coming to your house from the office, you can definitely go and you can sell the product, you can buy the product sitting in the house 24 hours. That is, you can do it. So while implementing e-business, we have to consider the following procedures: analyze the company's external and internal environment, select the e-business strategy, implement the e-business strategy, evaluate the success of e-business strategy. Again, there are seven key steps for successful implementation: planning for e-commerce business, technology selection, customer acquisition, that is how to acquire the customers, and customer engagement. This is again very important. Acquisition may be a little bit simple, but this engagement, it is important to study the changing needs of the customer. Now, again, I am emphasizing that the customer is not the same as he was earlier. Before 1991, if you see, if you study the, he was completely a different person. But now you see, after 1991, say today also, he is completely different. Now, why is he different? He is different only because of the thing of internet. He is looking at the world. He is getting a lot of information, and he is becoming aware that he can get better products with his money. So before 1991, we had a closed economy, and at that time, computerization was also lacking. You know that very well. So in that case, he was not aware about what is going here and there at that time because the internet was also
Sir,
not there. Yes, yes,
so you just mentioned the customer acquisition and all. So
yes,
that can be referred like how you are like acquiring, like analyzing the trends in the market, right?
absolutely. No, no, that you have to do it. Trends and everything that you can do it because with the help of artificial intelligence or machine
Yeah.
learning, that you can get the right signals. That's not a very big problem. Unless you
No,
see the
so
trend,
I'm
yeah,
asking that, for example, if we just take an example of Amazon, when you just search a certain item and the second time you visit the site, the particular analysis of the data, what you have searched is already done by Amazon for you. So it's a halfway done thing. So
yeah,
that
I know,
way, so
correct.
is that a example of how the trends are going on?
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. The thing is that the changing needs are there because the customer is not the same. See, you have sold certain products to the customer today. Okay. Now, this customer definitely, he'll be a different customer after say 7 days, 10 days, 7 months, whatever the period is there. The reason is this, again, I'm saying the same thing. Because of the net connectivity, he's looking at the competitive products elsewhere also. So he's comparing these products with the other products in other channels. So like this, this awareness comes over there, and it's a good thing that he's learning because ultimately, not only Amazon, I'm talking about other companies, e-commerce in this field also, many may come. We don't know about tomorrow. But the thing is that, you have to be competitive, number one. You have to be competitive and you have to see that your quality, pricing, and the customer needs has been taken into account. So the thing, if you just mentioned about Amazon, the thing is that you are giving particular products, but tomorrow, are you sure that the same products will be required by the customer? No, he may even change these things also because he will say, no, no, I am getting a better product somewhere else, or he has some different need also. Like that it is there. So
So, but that generally, like if you are just a first-time customer, or again you are buying from that particular site or the company, then it gives you discounts and all. So that way they can just retain the customer again and again.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you have to go for that customer. See, we call that as not customer acquisition because you are already a customer. We call that as a customer retention. The word is retention. So
Okay,
next,
sir.
this 5 number point which is there on the slide, you can see because having a good relations, you said about the discounts and everything. That is mainly an attraction. That is a good marketing technique because this is especially in India where we are too much concerned about the discounts. So we feel that if discounts are given, we are given a better product, and this is just like retaining the customer, not acquiring. The customer is already with you. Only thing is that you have to see that he is with you for a long time because marketing basically, you see, marketing. What is the definition of marketing? It is nothing but creating a scientific relations for a long period of time. You understand? So here is the thing, if you are giving discounts and everything, this is just like an attraction. You are some value addition also is there because if is cost consciousness, in India especially if you see, or even in African countries also, they are very, very cost conscious because of the lower per capita income. We are seeing that we get maximum value with the minimum cost. So that is there. Not only over here in Nigeria or Kenya, or you go anywhere, even Philippines also, Sri Lanka also, Nepal also. There are so many countries I can mention. So here the per capita income is low. That is the reason the customer thinks that I want, with the cost effectiveness, a good product over there. So that equation is there. So here customer, your question is answered in customer retention. So it is important to have good relations with the customer. If you give him discounts, automatically the customer will think that way. Yes, they are giving discounts, so it's a good company. Whatever my need is there, they understood. So in this way, the customer can be retained. Even Amazon is giving discounts. Flipkart is everywhere is giving discounts. So business analysis and customer insights. Now, this step is about fine tuning and understanding the product categories that have performed well. Now, some of the products they perform very well in the market. Two other products displayed in the web store. Now that you have to see which are the products which are sellable, which are marketable, which customers they like, and those products you have to focus more than those products which are not sellable. Because then it will be just like a dead investment. If people they are not buying your products, what is the point in showing on the web? So it should also consist of understanding the customer segments, demographics. Now I told you just now about the demographics also. Johnson and Johnson company, they are selling the baby products. Now they are specialized in this. They have become just like a master in that particular category, demographics. So they are selling the products to only the babies and everything. So they have mastered the art over there. So like that, we have to understand where the product, we call that as a targeting, targeting the customer. So we have to see that this customers, we want the maximum business with the minimum cost. That is our motto. So customer segmenting the market. The word is customer segments means we are dividing the customers. You may have 100 customers. But out of that, maybe some 30 customers may be interested in your product. So that is the reason we go for segmentation. Segments means you have to, cut into pieces. You have to cut into pieces. Which is the segment or who are the customers that they need your product? That is very important. Otherwise, you will be targeting some other customers over there, and that will be a waste of time, and you may be demoralized also. So here we have to focus more on that particular customers who are interested in buying your products. Then profitable customers, obviously I told last time also that high net worth customers, corporates and everything who pay time, who are interested in your products, these basically you have to target more. I gave you the example of aviation industry. When you see in business class, first class passengers, they target them first and then the economy class because the main business is there. So we have to focus there only and then you can also go for economic class passengers. You know, like that it is there. There also same principle is there. You go to any airline, I'm telling you. So there, if they have a business class and first class, then they are targeting them because main source of income is from there only. Because sometimes the charges for say first class or business class, there are 3 to 4 times the economy class. So that way, profitable customers, because they come again and again. So that is where you have to look. Then source of channels through the profitable customers come to the web stores. Source of channels that also you can see. Then percentage of revenue each profitable customer contributes to. Now this actually I told you just now only. Because as I told you, the high value customers or very high net worth customers, they travel quite a lot. Then in that case, these are in aviation industry, the company also understands the needs. I am telling you, not only here, but in America also, they have a list of these customers and they know that how much income they are getting, maybe say 20%, 30%, only because if you, these customers they are giving to the airlines. So aviation industry also, I just give you an example that they are targeting these customers. They give them the prompt service, effective service, good service, and marketing. So that has gone to acquiring these customers. Now this is very important because these customers have to be retained at any cost. Then these metrics are only a small representation of a larger list that can be optimized further. Now these metrics vary based on the business needs and require a customized approach for defining, monitoring, and optimization. Now, here we have to see customized approach means what the customer wants. So the thing is that sometimes we forget that we are giving a product sometimes when the customer is not even using it. You have a good product, but he is not using it. What is the use of that? Customized approach. So whatever the customer is requiring, give him. You have made money. So like that, this customized approach is required. That is the reason I am always saying that you study the customer needs, what he wants. If you have made the survey, you would have done much better. So customize app. Now for defining, monitoring and optimization. Optimization means whatever it should be cost effective. You should not go in loss also. Because over service is also bad. That means there is a cost over there. So here we have to see optimization means you have to satisfy the customer. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying about that, but how much money you are getting, that also has to be calculated. So optimization based on key metrics. So one has to see the revenue which is generated in the venture. Now, these high value customers whom we are giving prompt service and everything. Now this is everywhere, as I told you, I just gave you the example of aviation industry. But big customers, they are already on the forefront. They are given always a good service. The cost of the customer acquisition, that also we have to see. Acquiring a new customer, it is not also that easy. I'm telling you. I'm telling especially about the big customers or percentage of customers converted. Now, sometimes if they are doing business in some other company, they have to be converted. That means the customer who is in X company, now he is coming to your company, that is Y company. So what is the cost over there? How, whether you are convincing that customer that we are having a better product and everything, it requires a certain amount of efforts. So this percentage of customers converted and percentage of customers entering the website through various channels. That everything, that is the reason not only the cost analysis, but all these things has to be you are optimized because these are the key metrics. That means this you have to know about because what is the cost of customer acquisition, then percentage of the customers who are converted because sometimes that also is very important. How many people from other this thing that they get converted and they come to us for service. So then percentage of entering the website, that also you should remember how many people they are coming. So that also this optimization key metrics because these are some of the important things that must be on record. So above metrics may change based on business objectives, and so every business needs a fully customized approach for defining the key metrics and further analysis. Now, here, as I told you, for every business needs, it may change also. From business to business also, they'll change. So that is the reason we should keep an eye on the developments because of, as I told you, pharma companies there or a technological companies there. So the metrics, how we are going to see the key metrics, conversion of that customer from other company to your company, that we call that as a cost of acquisition, cost of retain, all these things we call that as a key metrics. So there are other large number of customers visiting websites. A large, deeper level of optimization is needed at two levels, that is technology and business front. Now, it includes optimizing the page load speed, then shopping cart, checkout, and other web pages. Now, then we have business. Now, includes analysis of total revenues generated, total spends for running the e-commerce operations, customer loyalty, this is the royalty and retention rates also. Whether the people they are comfortable, whether they are with you for a long period of time, that shows that your business is stabilized. And then rate of repeat purchase. This is also very important because the customer, if he is satisfied, he will come again to you. That you can very well see that your business is stabilizing because the same customer is coming again and again. So frequency of repeat customers. Repeat customers, you have to look over that. That means if he is satisfied, then only this customer is going to come. If he is not satisfied, then he will not come. So this is also success rate depends upon this also. So how much money you are making? The repeat customer means he is a long-term customer. You have carried out your marketing function effectively. So there basically I am telling these repeat customers is a satisfied customer. Still I am telling you if he comes say more times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it should happen that he must come even 100 times, 200 times also. Let him come. And this customer you have to target through internet. Now tell him what exactly he wants. Give him some say discounts or offers or something like that, so that he'll because he has been loyal to you for a long period of time. So there are a lot of features for helping online retailers improve these numbers. One has to display the right products. I told you that basically which products are sellable. Those products is the right products either through upselling or cross-selling. Now this upselling means what are the products you are selling. But sometimes the right products means cross-selling. This is a term which I wanted to explain you. Just hold on a minute. Now anybody can tell me what is the meaning of the word cross-selling? Yes, anybody can tell. Yes, Harshneet, can you tell what is the meaning of the word cross-selling? Anybody can tell.
I think it's that thing where you suggest additional products when someone is checking out.
Yes, Sumit has given very good answer. That means if you have 4 products and if the customer is only buying one product, then you can tell him, as Sumit rightly said, there are other products also. We call this as the process of cross-selling because it helps you to see that other products they are also sold. Otherwise, he'll be, sometimes I'm telling you, it does happen that the customer may not be interested in that some other product because he may be buying that product from else, some other site also. So that is the reason this is again, if you give this cross-selling, it is obviously important because we have studied the needs and I am telling you the customer is already in your database, but cross-selling means he will not go elsewhere also. So it is always better that you service that customer there itself. Yes, Tanmay.
So can you just give an example of this?
Yeah, there is a lot of examples we can give like that. Sumit, can you also share some of your example?
When you're checking out, when you're checking your cart in Myntra, Flipkart, or Amazon, there will be a section below which says that you may also like. It'll just be some random products based on the products which are in your cart. That is an example of cross.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
Tanmay, did you get
Thanks.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it. Thank you.
yeah. So this is how you have to see. Cross-selling basically it is just like selling and marketing. I gave you the difference that day also. So this cross-selling increases your revenue. The customer, you have to see that he doesn't go elsewhere. Your objective is to see that you give him the full satisfaction there and there itself. Why he should go to some other sites and purchase the products? So it is basically
Sir,
you should, yeah, yeah.
so this particular thing, does it come under a customer acquisition?
Yeah, see, already the customer is there. Tanmay, you must understand that that customer is already yours. But you have to see that the bonding has to increase. You see, in marketing, what happens, Tanmay, you should understand that we are not selling our products. On the contrary, we are creating deep marketing relations with that customer. In e-business, basically, or with the study, the thing is that we have to have very scientific and deeper relationship with the customers. That day I gave you the example of selling and marketing. Can somebody tell me what is the difference between selling and marketing? I gave you the example that day. Yes, anyone can tell. Yes, Saima, you can tell what is the difference between selling and marketing? Sumit, see, selling
Well,
basically
there is
it's a
vast
short.
differences between selling and marketing. Marketing is not actually selling the product, but actually broadcasting out to the people that you are existing, that your product exists. Selling is when they are on your website and you're ready. Yeah, all right. See, I have this tool which you can buy.
Correct. Now, I'll give one more example so that I think everybody will understand. Now, the physical classes they are starting. Now, in that case, suppose there is a canteen over there, everybody knows. Now, you go to the canteen. I know that you have visited canteen several times over there. I have also gone for so many occasions. I buy a sandwich from there. If I buy a sandwich, can Tanmay, you tell me, is it selling or marketing over there? Does it come?
So,
Yes. Yes.
so it is there. So you are, if you are buying it, then they have sold you. It's selling. But if it is just kept, then it is also called, it can be called as marketing too.
No, 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 no. Wait a minute. The first answer which you gave, that is correct. So selling basically you are buying a sandwich, you are having a cup of tea or any other product over there. So canteen person is selling you. You are see he has sold you. You have paid the money. So he has sold the product. It is selling. You understand, Tanmay? The first answer you gave, which is correct.
So
Now
one
the
second
second,
here. So one second, I just have a doubt here. So if you just go to a cafe and there you just have the basic food items which are kept into the plastic wrap papers, so that can be called as marketing.
no, no, no,
Then
no, no. Wait. Now again, don't get confused because there again the confusion. I told you, what is marketing in e-business? What we are doing. We are creating long-term relations. I told you again and again. We have to create relations. We are here. We are, the relations are deep bonds are created between the two. Now, so for example, now you are going to the college canteen and buying a sandwich. Is it creating long-term relations? Now you only tell me. Because see, after 6 months or 3 months, you will not be there in the college. Is it creating long-term relations? Tanma, you tell.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Now you are given the correct answer. So that means you don't want to create long-term relations with that canteen person because you had your sandwich, you had your cup of tea, and you are going to your class. your job is over. Maybe next year you will not be there in the college also. So selling basically is a part of marketing. You understand, Tanmay?
Okay, sir, got it.
Is a part of marketing. So it is just like a set and subset. So what is the set? Set is marketing. Marketing is a very big word. In e-business, we are not going to selling activities. On the contrary, we are, creating very deep relations with the supplier, with the customer. A customer, why we create? Because we want to survive. We want to be sustainable. We want to be profitable. A lot of words you can use over there. So that is the reason I'm trying to say. See, when you cross sell a product, when you cross sell a product, that means that bonding is also created that you want to see. Just like a very big hospital who are giving you number of services over there, you don't want to go here and there because all services under one roof. So like that, a customer should be grabbed and he can be made comfortable if you are giving him all kinds of services that he wants. Why should he go and visit some different store or website over there and he buy from there? So this division over there in segmentation, which we call that is not necessary. You give all the services that he wants. So that we call it as a customer retention. Now you got it. Tanmay, did you get it now? So this is how we have to create a longer, long-lasting, scientific and long-term relations, so that because the company is existing for a long time, we cannot there for creating short-term relations, short-term profits, because the people who are working in the company don't forget that we have to pay them salaries and other things which are also there. Anyway, I am going to the slide over there because which I have missed. Just hold up. Yeah. So here the thing is that customers read product reviews prior to their online purchases. Some may buy from the websites and online reviews. Online companies that have a recommendation system can increase sales by 8 to 10%. Okay. So that also can be done cross-selling. In today's compete hard or perish environment, a holistic e-commerce strategy, if planned and executed well, can be an important means of raising revenues. Okay. Today, as I told you, competition is there. We are accepted in 1991. So it is an important means of raising revenues because money should come if you compete only. If it should be very good, planned also and executed well. And brand awareness, as I told you, as the sales grow in other countries also, if you go to international marketing, the brand is very, very important. You must have a brand to sell your products in international markets. In India, you can sell, but other countries, you need a brand. So brand awareness is very important. Providing best support and shopping experience to the new generation of it. That should, because the customer, if you want to attract or acquisition of a customer, then you have to have a good support and shopping experience. He should not have any trouble when he's on the website. Then we have the successful implementation of an e-commerce strategy helps in gaining a competitive edge over the existing customers, no matter whether they are offline or online or offline. So here the thing is that you have to have a competitive edge also over the existing customers. As I told you, cross-selling and everything, this helps because the bonding is created. Suppose a product he is not liking, at least he will come for the second product, third product, fourth product, fifth product. Go on increasing the products through innovations. I think that will help. Then we
Excuse me,
have,
sir.
yes, yes.
Sir, I just have a question regarding cross-selling. Sir, like when the companies focus on cross-selling, so do they aim at profit maximization or just to increase the sales they perform cross-selling?
No, no. Your second answer you have only given. So the thing is that first of all, don't think about profit maximization initially. See, there is one thing that profit will come automatically when I'll tell you. Just hold on. Now, profit will come, Harshni. Actually, the profit will come automatically, but through customer only. So unless the customer is satisfied, your profit is not going to come. So give him what he wants, the customer. Obviously, the profit will respond accordingly. So you don't worry about the product right now. Profit maximization should not be, that is your ultimate goal. I understand. But ultimately, it is through the customers, unless he is there with you, you cannot reach the goal. So first of all, tell the customer what he wants, and whatever he wants, you can give him. Profit will come by itself. Ultimately, every company has a goal of profit maximization. Arshni. So that is your
Sir,
target. Yeah.
Sir, if suppose they do not want to lose their customers to other competitors, so will they not offer lower prices or as such so that the customers like just buy from them?
Yeah, you can give lower prices, it's okay, but don't go below the break-even point. Otherwise, you'll be ending up in loss. See, ultimately, your company also has to pay the salaries and other things, other overheads, expenses, and everything. So you have to decide until what point of time you are going to, you are going down to sell the, that, product over there. So the thing is that don't do business in a loss, because otherwise the customer may be used to that pricing over there. You understand? So the thing is that you should know up till which level you can go over there regarding pricing. So I will say that basically acquisition of the customer is important rather than profit maximization right now, because this is the first step, and then goes for profit maximization. Slowly and steadily, the customer should be used to the product, and then if you want, depending on the quality and everything, you can raise the price over there. That can be done. That is effective strategy.
Okay, sir.
So go slowly, because we don't want to hasten up the process. It's better to go slowly, because what happens, if you only think about profit, if you overcharge him or something like that, the customer will not be there the next day also. So you have lost a customer. And in marketing, basically, the thing is that we are creating very deep relations with the customer. It is only to see that the company also remains sustainable, and because you also have to pay the salaries of the staff, other expenses, overheads, and other things. Now, that is the reason we have to go ahead. Anyway, I'm going to the next slide where I think it's told e-commerce rules. Yeah. The last part which is remaining is about evaluation. So by evaluating, we means analyzing the strategic plan. Now, as I told you, evaluation, sometimes the plans may go wrong also. And assessing how well you are done against achieving the goals in your strategy. So this evaluation has to be done, as we are also doing evaluations. Now, it is an internal analysis tool and should be used when making decisions about the strategy. So this is also very important, because unless you evaluate, you will never come to know whether you are done correct or whether you are done wrong, or whether you have made some errors or not. So evaluation is whether objectives are achieved, which objectives are no longer needed, how much progress have we made towards our vision. Thus, evaluation has been done for assessing the performance in that particular period. Now, ultimately, if your sales are increasing or decreasing, it doesn't matter. Problem is this, that you have to have an evaluation. Unless you have evaluation, you will. We also have evaluations in the class. Now, why we have evaluations? Because we want to know whether the student has studied up to that level, whether he has read the slides or other material which is there. So evaluations are done everywhere, whether it is educational field or any other field. And whether the objectives are achieved, we also have to study. Suppose, for example, say your sales figures are say 10 lakhs and you have achieved say 9.5 lakhs. That means your objectives have not been achieved. So which objectives are no longer needed? Because you may have about 10 objectives over there, but sometimes out of that, say 6 are achieved and 4 are not achieved. So what does it mean then? So like that, because every product, if you have 10 products you are selling, so 6 are achieved, so 4 are not achieved. So again, what does it indicate? Then how much progress have we made towards our vision? So that also is very important, whether you are going slowly and steadily to in that direction, how much progress is there, 20%, 10%, 30%, or 40%. So that progress also we have to understand that we have to move forward, and whether we are in the correct direction or not, that also the company has to assess. Now, I gave you the example of Amazon. Some student also spoken had just now. Now, Amazon also, if you see the sales and other figures over there, some I think 6 years back or say 5 years back, you can see on the stock chart, you will find out that now the prices they are going up, the stock price is going up. Now, why it has gone up? Why the progress has been? Obviously, the company is progressing. Only thing is how much it is progressing year to year basis that can be found out with this. Now, with this, I am again going to the next very important slide that basically it is about the e-commerce rules, which I wanted to show you because this is, can you see the slides from that side? Can you
Yes,
see
sir.
this? You can see, I'll be putting on there, you don't have to worry. Now, these are some of the rules that you have to understand. Now, basically, this is with relation to India. As you know, India is growing, and I'm not saying that we are very new, but rules have to be tightened. And what are the, see, as per the international standards also. So, India tightens e-commerce rules, likely to hit Amazon and Flipkart. Now you see basically these rules are there. Some of them they may have because continuously there is some modification changes. I do agree that there must be some, just the key points I am mentioning over here. Now India will ban e-commerce companies such as Amazon.com or Walmart own Flipkart group from selling products from companies in which they have an equity interest. This is very important. I just wanted to share with you, and this rule it is still there, so you can very well see because this I'll be putting in the slides also. Now here the thing, equity interest means where they have invested by way of equity shares. Now if they are invested by way of equity shares, then they cannot sell that products from selling products from companies. Suppose XYZ company is there, okay, Amazon over there. The companies, if they are invested, so that they cannot sell. So these are some of the rules that you should know. So the new regulations follow complaints from Indian retailers and traders who say e-commerce companies like Amazon has created an unfair marketplace. Now here, obviously, you have to understand that because of the money power, dominance, and everything, Amazon should not. I'm not naming Amazon. I'm only saying that big companies should not use their financial muscle power for in that respect. Otherwise, the Indian retailers and traders, there will be, that fair play will not be there, and there will be unfair marketplace over there. That means you will take advantage, just like a monopoly over there. Monopolies which are there, and they will see that they give this discounts, lot of huge discounts, and try to attract the customers. And ultimately what will happen is Indian retailers and even the traders, they'll be left in the woods, and they'll end up in losses because all the customers, they'll go in one direction. It is only because of the thing, this heavy discount and all these things which they are giving. So this is as per the Competition Act in India also. Government of India is also concerned what will happen to the small traders, even in rural places, semi-urban, or even in city places also. So this is really a cause of concern because we don't want any social unrest. And moreover, the smaller traders and other things, they have to adapt to the new situation. They have to be given some time, and we know that there is a competition is here to stay, but it should not be one-sided. And at the end, there should not be any monopoly also. We don't want anybody's monopoly. I'm telling you, because India basically, see, in other countries also the same rules are there, because everybody should be on the same platform. But this Indian traders or retailers, they are still not in the same this thing, because they with their money power, financial muscle power, they are going ahead with the discounts and everything. They are snatching the customers from the Indian retailers, which is not advisable. Now, Indian retail market is dominated by small corner shop. Now, this is they are here to stay, and moreover, for so many years they are there. They are doing the business, which are now threatened by the e-commerce giants. Now, obviously, you will agree that this e-commerce giants like Amazon and everything, now they are doing a roaring business. But what about the small traders? Are they going to close the shops? So this you have to understand. Can we rely on the foreign companies any for a longer period of time? There are so many questions that you have to answer over there. Now you can see there are some photos of employees of the Amazon India scan package at Amazon's newly launched fulfillment center of the outskirts of Bangalore. You can see they are doing that, and the main objective by saying, because these are all having a lot of money with them, with deep pockets, and obviously the smaller retailers, they are also changing, because ultimately they have to stay in the competition. But Indian Competition Act, they say that there must be a fair play. Competition should be between equals, not between some monopolist and some like that. So rules have to be tightened as per the international rules. So then we have,
Sir, isn't it pointless?
which one?
Isn't it pointless?
Yeah, but what we can do now?
These things that that the government is trying to regulate, where online retailers can't create a monopoly for small traders to exist. That's completely pointless, in the sense that
No.
obviously everyone wants to go to online retailers because they can offer better discounts, just because they have a multiple amount of customers. For example, buying from your local grocery seller and buying from Big Basket has its advantages, because Big Basket can sell to 200 apples to 1,000 people, like 100 people. But you can't go to a grocery seller and ask him, "Bhai, do apple de de." So obviously, online retailers will obviously have a edge over
No.
retail
That
marketers.
you are, yeah, I understand this, but you are thinking from the point of view of customer. I agree with you. But suppose if you are working with, say, Government of India, then you will have a different view. Okay. Now you are thinking,
So one thing,
yeah.
but as per the competition also, sir, if everyone is just going to the e-commerce thing, then obviously they have to stay for the competition. So if you are thinking from the business point of view, also from the retailer's point, then there is no option absolutely for them instead of staying for the competitions, right? They have
No.
to figure out with some middleman and stay.
No. See, you have to give them some time also. Tanmay, I agree with you, but the thing is that there should be a fair play. I told you, no. Now Amazon is basically they are coming and they are snatching all the business because of the huge money power which they have. And obviously, what about the condition which these retailers and traders which they are doing for number of years? Don't you think it is something which is not fair? That means, they will be left in the woods. They will not be able to, they have to close the shops. Like these things will happen. So, they have to be on the same platform if you want to do the business. So there are certain rules in other countries also, the rules are there, which they have tightened. Otherwise, only Amazon will reap the profits. And what about these people? And they will be left, just on the woods. They will be doing nothing then, in that case. There will be huge losses for this company. And tomorrow, see, Amazon is here to stay, that we know today. But the problem is that if they shift to some other countries or like that, what about these people? How you are going to stop? If you are working from the government of India, you have to think from that angle also. Don't only think from the point of you as a customer, but people over there, say ministers, what they will think. What about Narendra Modi? How he is going to handle the situation? So you have to think from the macro perspective. Did you get it, Tanmay? See, the thing is that just because you
Yes,
have,
sir.
yeah. See, having huge amount of money and getting the customer business is one thing. But another thing, as what about these people who have served the society for a number of years? Are you going to just disregard from them? No, no, that I don't want your product anymore.
So,
So
but the
that
fact is, technology didn't exist 20 years ago, right? It just
no, no,
evolved in this decade.
it's not a question of technology. It's a question of survival. I'm talking. It's not a question of technology. See, the thing is that in India we have democracy. So we have to give them some time to adapt also, no? In one day they cannot adapt. Suddenly if Amazon comes and snatches the business, what about them? You have to give them some time for adaptability. In one day they cannot adapt. See, international rules also has to be accepted by India. You cannot say that India is aloof and let Amazon reap the benefits at the cost of the retailers. I hope you will agree. Tanmay, do you agree with me? Because the retailers
Yes, sir.
basically they are there for years, 100 years, 200 years. Suddenly they come, Amazon comes and they snatch the profits. And what about these people? So government has to think about this thing. No, it's a
So
macro
basically, the
problem.
perception changes on how you're viewing the situation. It's different from the customer side or different from the retailer side, like this.
Correct, correct. No, no, that I agree. But see, when you are thinking from government person, if you are working with government of India, then your view will definitely change, because you will agree that everyone must be in the same platform when you are doing business. So like that, some rules had to be tightened up. And Indian government, they had done it. The rules are little bit tightened because the thing is that you cannot give such huge discounts over there. And once you are giving this, obviously the customer is a happy person. I am not saying anything about customer, but the problem is that it is not a healthy competition. You get it, Tanmay, now very correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, it should be a healthy competition. We don't want unhealthy practices, giving very deep discount just to attract the customer and all these things. The customer may come to you, but ultimately, these people who are also Indian citizens, you have to give them some time to adapt over there. Let them adapt. Let them be on the same platform, because since they are not that financially sound, this Flipkart and they should not take advantage of their weaker financial positions. Exploitation should not be there. You have the money power. We respect Amazon. I also buy products from there. But Indian government, the rules they have framed, and you have to understand that it is from the macro point of view. They are done for the sake of stability, security, and obviously the customer. They are taken from not from the view of customer, but the thing everybody should have a fair play. That is, everybody's voices has to be heard. So like that it is there. Anyway, we have got about just 2 3 minutes. I'll just take 2 3 points and just hold on for a minute. I think one, yeah. Now there is one. India will ban e-commerce. Oh, sorry, this I had done. Yeah, yeah, this one. Equity interest we have finished. Now, e-commerce companies can make bulk purchases through their wholesale units or other companies that in turn sell the products to sellers such as their affiliates or other companies with which they have agreements. So that they can do. Those sellers can then sell the products to other companies or direct to the customers, often at attractively low prices. So the new regulations follow complaints from Indian retailers and traders who say that the giant e-commerce companies are using their control over inventory from their affiliates and through exclusively sales agreements to create an unfair marketplace that allows them to sell some products at a very low price. Now this is again, if you read it very carefully, now here I am again repeating just this point. I will clear it so that you will understand. Because here the thing that e-commerce, these companies, they are using their control over inventory from their affiliates. Affiliates means their friendly companies and everything. There they are purchasing and then they are selling, these products at a very discounted price over there at very low prices. So again, this sort of unhealthy atmosphere should not be there in India. So we have to see that this is really unfair. See, you can, because Amazon basically it is a market, but you are trying to sell their products, your affiliates, in the Amazon so that people can buy their products. No, is it good or we have a body named CCI, so they will not accept this. Competition Commission of India, we have. So that is the reason this is an unfair competition. So many things which Amazon was doing, I will say, not is doing, was doing. So this is basically the way of doing business has to change. So there are many points. I don't want to go. There are so many. The new regulations build on existing rules under which foreign investors can acquire 100% of e-commerce companies with the exception of model based on inventory form. I'll do this next time because we got only very few minutes left. I'll just share with you there is only government is only thinking. You must understand the view of the government. Let see live and let live. The principle is like this. Let everybody live. Let there be the competition control of India CCI body. It is looking at a very healthy competition. We don't want somebody who is a very dominant player in the market who is reaping the benefits at the cost of the poor traders. This is an unfair competition. Accordingly, if you see the rules of the CCI body, which is a government body, this is unadvisable. So the thing is that giving do a deep discounts or something like that, the thing is that this is definitely not in the rules. The rules basically they have to comply with the Indian rules and regulations. As you know, even Twitter also has agreed that they will be complying with the Indian laws and regulations. So whenever you are doing business in India, don't forget that you have to follow the rules of in India only. So Indian rules and regulations, whether you are doing business in China or other countries over there, then everybody, even foreign banks also, I'll tell you the names also. For example, the Standard Chartered, Barclays, American banks, they are also following the rules of Indian banks or say Reserve Bank rules when they come over here. They are not following the rules of their parent countries over there. So you have to follow the rules which are here. So you cannot say that we are international these things, so we can do whatever we want. No, there are rules and regulations you have to follow. That's all. Anyway, I am taking the attendance. Just we got about 2 minutes. If anybody wants to ask any question, you're welcome to ask during this 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, Shruti, you want to ask any question? Yes, attendance I have taken. Any other question which you want to ask? Just 1 minute is there. I don't want to take you 1 minute. I know some other lecture is also waiting for you. Yes, Deepa Kumari, do you have any other question? Sumit, any question?
None, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think just 1 minute is there. So uh, I hope so that the matter is clear and the slides that will be there. You can go through it. Now these are and obviously there are some updations also that also you can go online and see the rules and regulations. They are constantly changing, and these big companies or their technology giants or big with financial muscle power, they have to agree to the Indian rules and regulations. That's the message. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very, very much.